Oh, Andrea Tessmann.
Oh, Kirk Buchner. What have you done to us?
Well, I just thought that you liked pina coladas. And then I realized nobody drinks that unless you're going to an all-inclusive resort. Nobody!
Even then, I don't really. That's just a recipe for a hangover. Nobody needs that much sugar.
I was thinking about it. Like, has there ever been a bar in Canada or the United States? Really anywhere.
I'm sure there's some tropical bar somewhere that specializes in them, like, I don't know, in Florida. But, apparently it's like the national drink of, national Puerto Rico? I don't know if that counts. State? What is Puerto Rico? But anyways, it's apparently the official drink. I think it was Puerto Rico. I could be wrong. Please don't hate me. And there's an actual Pina Colada Day.
I'm sure somewhere Jimmy Buffett is celebrating that.
So I have to admit, and I don't do this very often, I must admit that I was wrong last week. Jimmy Buffett never covered this song.
Never covered it at all. Well, I was wrong on something too. This guy...
Oh?
Well, yeah. I mean, like, I always assumed that this guy put out the personal ad. He didn't. He responded to it.
Mm-mm. He responded to it.
Which makes it even worse. But maybe we should get there. I guess we should look back at who this guy is. Rupert Holmes, Escape, the Pina Colada Song. December 22nd, 1979. Not exactly the song that you think is going to usher in the 1980s or close out the 70s, is it?
No, but it's the only song that's been number one in 2 decades.
Yes. Yeah, because it went off the chart, and then, it didn't go off the chart. It went off
No, it was the last one and the first one.
Yeah. It's, well, I mean, why not, I guess? I mean, it might as well be something. I mean, you know what the number one song is leading into the 1960s that doesn't really fit either?
No.
A song I also, I don't love this one, but a song I do like, Marty Robbins, El Paso.
Oh, interesting.
Down in the West Texas town of El Paso.
El Paso.
I fell in love with a Mexican girl.
Back to the song at hand.
Yes, back to the song at hand.
Yes.
Rupert Holmes.
Piece of crap.
Oh, it is a piece of crap. This guy sucks. I'll just put it bluntly. I listen to more of his material. I hate this guy. I hate everything that this guy's ever sung. Yet, does he have a hit here that deserved to be a hit? Yeah, he does. But I guess before that, I warned you that if you looked at his backstory, you'd come up with his first ever hit that he wrote from the early 70s. Timothy. Yes, Timothy. A song. You know, you think when you're doing a song about when it's a male name, sometimes things just sort of go off the deep end, I think. Around the same time, what was the number one hit? Michael Jackson, Ben. It's about a rat. Maybe we'll get to that one day. I don't know. Timothy did not...
Maybe, but... Well, I was going to say, Timothy, he legitimately wrote to try to get censored. I don't know if he was looking for clout or what, but he wrote a song about cannibalism in order to not get radio play. He was about 20 at the time, and he must have been just laughing his ass off all the way to the bank when nobody actually listened to the lyrics, and it made it to like number 17.
And I think that was sort of the interesting thing, because this is a part of the group was called The Boys, play on words, because B-O-U-Y-S. I might be spelling that incorrectly. Something you use in nautical terms, which I think will be sort of relevant to where we're going to go. But this is a bubblegum song, similar to what we talked about not that long ago with the Archies. And the guy used to work with Ron Dante, lead singer of the Archies. And it's a bubblegum tune, and like you said, Andrea is not waxing poetic here. It's about cannibalism. Timothy was eaten in a well or a mine.
No, in a mine.
In a mine.
Three miners got stuck in a collapsed mine shaft, and they ate one of them. The great thing is, the song is only like 3 verses. It's not a big, long story about how they were starving and they had to give anything up. It was basically like, well, there's 3 of us here. Joe's looking at you. There's enough water for 2, so Joe and I are going to drink that. And then he doesn't explicitly talk about the cannibalism, but then it's like, oh, Timothy, where did you go? What did we do? And then he talks about waking up with his belly as full as it can be. Like, it's graphic without being graphic. It's pretty great in a horrific sense.
It is, and then when you try to do something that's going to get banned, what happens? You want to seek it out. I'm actually amazed it only went to 17.
Well, yeah, and I think that it started getting airplay, and people were like, "Oh, hey, this is catchy,"
which it was.
And then they realized what it was about, and the record company tried to say Timothy was a mule, and he was like, "Oh, hell no. He was a dude. This is about cannibalism," and all the controversy, I think, escalated it, because it's not a great song.
No.
But it's a novelty.
Timothy, Timothy.
All right. So back to the song at hand, though.
Yeah.
Let's get back to Escape.
Ugh. Well, Rupert, okay, so Rupert Holmes wrote that for the boys, and... You know, I was reading some things here too, because he got his own record deal, put out a few albums. He was one of these guys that a lot of people just loved. I don't know why. I think maybe because he could produce. He was slick. Like everything that he ever did in terms of his solo albums, you can hear the the high production quality. So there's something to be said about that. What that means, what I'm saying about it, I don't know, but there is a value in high production.
I mean, I think that kind of stems back to the era. He's right smack dab in the middle of the opulence of late 70s, early 80s soft rock, which is... affectionately, some of it, not all soft rock, there's a lot of contention, but a lot of it is known as yacht rock. And there's a lot of hate on for this, as there should be. But there's a lot to be said for the overproduction and the striving for making something as great as you can. So you take a kind of crappy song, like Escape, and you put a lot of production value into it, and you produce something that at least sounds good. Like the song itself isn't great, but they've made it good. There was one, and I can't remember which one of the artists it was, but his studio recording had something like 80 studio musicians on the album. Like, they seriously overproduced this stuff. And it's just that easy breezy West Coast feel, soft, like feel good soft rock stuff. But yacht rock was a term that was coined around 2005.
Which is interesting, isn't it? That we're talking about a genre that didn't have a genre title when it was actually happening.
No, it was just soft rock. It was lumped in with all the other soft rock out there. And it was later on that, not much later, that they came up with this term, and there's all this gatekeeping around this term that's both great and pathetic. So whether or not Escape counts as yacht rock is up for debate. There are some purists saying that it's not, but like there's websites, yacht or yacht. There's where they rate these things. There's Facebook profiles and Facebook groups about it, and like the arguments on YouTube channels over whether a song is yacht or not is absolutely
so
ridiculous.
It's also, too, I mean, in 2 cartoons I watch, they've talked about yacht rock. Family Guy did a yacht rock episode.
Oh, yeah.
And Bill Burr's F is for Family, where his son... sort of like where his son got turned, like his band turned into a yacht rock thing, which is kind of funny considering that when this is taking place in '74, that type style of music didn't really exist yet, and B, like you just said, nobody called it yacht rock.
So the other fun thing is, did you see that Sugar Ray did a cover of this?
Yeah, I did.
And his album is called Little Yachty. And he's like, yeah, I made a yacht rock album. It's not really, but it was pretty funny that he's like, nobody takes Sugar Ray seriously anyways, so we can pretty much get away with whatever the hell we want.
If Mark McGrath did not look like Mark McGrath, we would have never heard his crap. I
like some Sugar Ray stuff. Come on.
Because what he looks like.
Oh, easy breezy. Like, oh, yeah.
Let's be honest here, Andrea. If Mark McGrath didn't look like Mark McGrath, like that only worked one time, and that was the Spin Doctors, and then people saw what he looked like. And it's like, yeah, pass. All right, yeah, no. And I actually remember that happening with female friends of mine in college.
Interesting.
Yes.
I believe it.
Yeah. But yes, actually, I'm here on the Wikipedia page for yacht rock, which is funny. So factors that they can consider to be yacht rock, and Escape is all of that. High production value, use of high-end studio musicians from LA, jazz and R&B influences, a bit of jazz in there.
That one's the questionable.
Yeah, use of electric piano, complex, and wry lyrics. I'll give them the rye. Lyrics about heartbroken, foolish men. Well, you got that one down. Holy crap. Does this guy make himself look to be a tool here? And an upbeat rhythm called the Doobie Bounce. I guess in reference to the Doobie Brothers, I'm assuming more the Mike McDonald years and not the Tom Johnson years.
Yeah, it's definitely the Mike McDonald, because he's one of the key yacht rock players, I guess, would be the thing. Mm-hmm. He's there's a few of them. There's pretty much all of Toto. There's There's a handful of them that are pretty much on every not every recording, but they really are predominant in Kenny Loggins, Michael McDonald, Steely Dan, I think.
Bob Walsh.
And they all kind of recycle. It's a little incestuous circle where they all sort of recycle like the same musicians and work as studio musicians on each other's albums.
One thing I couldn't find here is, like, why is it necessarily called yacht rock? I guess what, just like rich white people?
I think that's it. It's that image of like hanging out on your yacht, listening to easy listening music. Kind of gives that image of like.
I wonder if Christopher Cross didn't put out Sailing in 1980, which I don't know if that went number one. A song literally about sailing. Would we even be calling this yacht rock? I don't know.
I don't know either, but it portrays a pretty vivid image in my brain.
So Rupert Holmes, this guy, he put out a few albums. Rolling Stone actually called him the next Bob Dylan, which proves this to me. Anyone can write for Rolling Stone. Holy shit. This guy's the next Bob Dylan? God damn it.
I read some great articles about this. There's a lot of people out there poking fun at this song in various ways.
As they should.
One of them was a statistician writing about how the statistical improbability of them actually responding to each other's ad.
Okay.
And then also the statistical probability of them getting back together. And he figured out there was about a 38% chance. So he went and literally picked his hometown and found out the population in 1981 and figured out took out the average for children and elderly and slightly less men than women, and figured out there would be potentially 1,500 and whatever that could possibly respond to her ad. And then however many were, it was ridiculous. He went way too in depth into it. But then he said at the end of it, basically, it was a great exercise because he's realized he can overanalyze all sorts of songs, like figuring out who run the world. It's definitely not girls, because out of 145 countries, only 15 have female leaders, something like that. Good on you.
Who runs the world?
Yeah,
girls.
There's a whole bunch of...
She doesn't even run her own household, Beyonce. Sorry. Anyway, go on.
There's a lot of critical, not analysis. It's not analysis. It's basically discussion of this song. And okay, we're looking at it from a 2020 lens. Calling someone your old lady these days isn't common or cool. But in 1981, that was probably a common term for your long-term female partner, whether you were married or just, in a serious relationship, whatever. Comes right down to the fact that it doesn't matter what era this is, they're terrible people.
Well, let's just even start with the first verse, right? I was tired of my lady. We'd been together too long, like a worn-out recording of a favorite song. So while she lay there sleeping, I read the paper in bed, and in the personal columns, there was this letter I read, and then we'll get to that. But so I'm just trying to picture people under 30 trying to even, first off, a newspaper, kids. That's what the internet pretty much was, only in paper form.
And your fingers got really black when you were reading it, so don't read it in bed because you will smear ink all over your sheets.
That's true, too. And he probably got yelled at the next day from his wife because she's probably nagging at him for everything at this point. Clearly, they're not doing too good. But what is this? Is this this song is like Ashley Madison? That's the website for...
It really is.
Yeah, that's the couples thing, right? I think.
Yeah, that's the one where all the people got doxxed. Also, Ashley Madison got hacked, and they put up a website with everybody's name. Oh, didn't you hear about that?
No.
It was a massive scandal because it was like 50,000 or more people that were listed on this database of Ashley Madison users.
Oh my God.
There's a lot of cheaters out there, apparently.
Well, I would assume so, because, that site exists.
Well, it doesn't anymore.
Oh, it doesn't? Okay, I didn't even know that.
No, I'm pretty sure that was the end of it.
Well, I suppose.
I'm sure there's something else that's taken its place, though. Or just all the people on Tinder saying that they're in polyamorous relationships, but their partners don't know.
Okay, well, you're the single one, I think.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that was emphatic. All right, I'm okay. I won't go in any further on that one. Okay, but I guess where I'm going with that, I haven't been on anything in God. When did I meet Pauline? I met Pauline. Did I ever tell you how Pauline and I met?
No, I don't think so.
We met on Lava Life. I don't even know if that still exists.
That does still exist.
It does?
Yep.
Okay, so that's where we met. Now, that was so long ago that was back when you weren't really telling people you met online. It wasn't that common.
Uh-huh.
So we used to have a fake story when people asked, so where'd you meet? We met at a party.
Makes sense.
Yeah, nowadays, I mean, we don't give a shit. But back then, there wasn't the most common thing. So, but I'm looking at the whole hook, which, I mean, okay. So this is the letter that was on. Sorry. If you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain, if you're not into yoga, if you have half a brain, if you like making love at midnight in the dunes on the Cape, I don't know where that is, then I'm the love that you've looked for. Write to me and escape. All right, let's look at this thing. Okay, are you responding to this?
So I just wanted to, yeah. However, this is, as you said, this is the woman puts the ad up. And so this certainly isn't what I would write. And this all kind of screams affair. This is not an article that you would, or like this isn't your profile if you're looking for a long-term relationship. This is literally write to me and escape, as in like step out on whatever's going on in your life. No, I don't like pina coladas. Nobody really likes getting caught in the rain. You can make the best of it and it can be a fun experience. But for the most part, you're just wet. If you're not into yoga, I'm going to say different era, different,
yoga's a totally different...
ubiquitous now. Yeah. So we'll just ignore that one. If you have half a brain, backhanded compliment, don't be a dick, don't be an idiot. I don't know what that really says. It's just like, what she's asking is like, don't be dumb, have a bit of intelligence. It's just terribly written. If you like making love at midnight in the dunes on the Cape, nobody likes having sex in the sands. It's a terrible idea.
It just gets everywhere.
Think about it. Think about just having a picnic on the beach and where you find sand afterwards. Now think about doing that naked and sweaty.
Andrea knows what she's talking about.
Maybe once a very long time ago and never again.
Sorry. Then I'm the love that you looked for. Write to me and escape. Which is about
That's my opinion.
Which is about as well. You can't say that I am in a shitty relationship more than that. That one last word, escape.
Mm-hmm.
But if we go back to the hook, the Pina Colada, because it's essentially called the Pina Colada Song. As much as we're joking and shitting on the fact that nobody likes pina coladas, nobody drinks pina coladas, nobody orders a pina colada. If he didn't write this word, this is not it.
No,
not
he
number
didn't.
one. Because originally this was a called if you like Humphrey, was it Humphrey Bogart, I believe?
Humphrey Bogart, and then apparently he decided that he referenced Humphrey Bogart in too much of his prior work. Like, how do you reference Humphrey Bogart too much or at all?
Don't know.
So it was sort of he was thinking, a tropical drink would sound good. So what are tropical drinks?
Because this is pretty much all that people remember of this song is all this. So like, as far as most casual listeners, when they hear that, they have got no idea that it's this weird middle-aged love gone wrong, and then they're all happy, and we'll get to that after.
So then Then it's back to the dude saying, I didn't think about my lady. I know that sounds kind of mean. But me and my old lady had fallen into the same old dull routine. So he's not even saying that he's got some issue with her. He's just bored and looking for some strange. So I wrote to the paper, took out a personal ad, and though I'm nobody's poet, I thought it wasn't half bad. So now, if you're responding to a personal ad, you don't do it by taking out another personal ad.
No, I didn't even think of that, but that's so true.
Right. If a personal ad will have, during the day, a phone number, maybe a little bit more recently, an email address. You don't take out another personal ad. So, yeah.
Can you imagine those sort of looking back though?
What?
If you could tell all these horny middle-aged people in the late 70s, you know what? If you could just hold off just a little bit longer, all you're gonna have to do is swipe right. Huh?
Yeah.
But anyways,
it's like the Sears catalog online for a boyfriend.
Well, not even a boyfriend.
Or a hookup. So anyways, back to the hook/refrain.
Ugh. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain. I'm not much into health food. I am into champagne. I've got to meet you by tomorrow noon. Okay, again, what the hell? You called the paper and took out a personal ad. How's she going to see it and figure out what day tomorrow is and get there?
Is it? No,
so
maybe
again,
it's a daily paper.
Another problem. I've got to meet you by tomorrow noon and cut through all this red tape at a bar called O'Malley's where we'll plan our escape. So he's now referenced alcohol twice, plus a bar. So that's a third reference to alcohol. And escaping. And again, all of this just screams hookup to me. This doesn't scream relationship.
You know, I don't remember personal ads. I know they existed. I didn't look at them when those things were happening because I was a kid, and obviously I'm not doing that stuff. But wouldn't they start off with male 34 looking for such and such? I mean, God knows what the hell you're going to be meeting on something like this when that's all you come up with.
It could be a 68-year-old granny.
It could be. It could be a serial killer. It could be a kid. It could be anything. What the hell are you doing? And people
I mean,
did
the same
this
goes
shit.
for Tinder or any of them, though.
Yeah, but
could be a serial killer.
But with Tinder, I'm guessing there's always a picture, right? Not always, or I don't know.
There isn't always a picture, but I mean, there's a lot of people getting catfished out there that put up fake pictures.
Okay, but something like this, you're going to figure out pretty quickly. I mean,
and also you're communicating virtually before walking in on a situation, hopefully. So yes, someone could still be a psychopath, but at least you know that they're not your wife.
Okay, but this is also 79, right? So when you're doing this shit now, when Pauline and I met for the first time, right? She had two different people call her to make sure that I wasn't a complete nutcase. I mean, I turned out to be one, but she loved me anyway.
Well, but not in a bad way.
Not in a bad way.
In a harmless. You're a harmless nutcase.
In a totally harmless way. What are you going to do? You're going to just hold on. I got to go to the payphone.
Well, I guess that's why you meet in public places.
I know. I'm just trying to. It's so. I mean, this song's not even that old, but the whole concept of doing this is so weird. In the 2020 lens,
it isn't that much different than online dating these days.
No, but the
nowadays
mechanics
there's a lot more safety precautions.
Yeah, just the mechanics are different, or so different.
Yeah.
The idea is not different at all, but the mechanics are so strange from our lens. But yeah, I guess we'll keep going here. This is the first time I think we ever really looked at the entire lyrics of anything. But you
kind of have to with this one to just realize how terrible it is.
There we
why
go.
don't you continue with the next bit?
Okay. This is the thing that just gets me the most.
Yep.
Okay, so I waited with high hopes, and she walked in the place. I knew her smile in an instant. I knew the curve of her face. It was my own lovely lady. No, she's not an old lady anymore. Notice that? And
she suddenly became lovely.
Oh, yeah. And she said, "Aw, it's you." Then we laughed for a moment, and I said, "I never knew." What the fuck?
What is the only reasonable reaction to this?
Exactly!
What the actual fuck? I've never cheated on a partner, and it's not something I really comprehend. But if I was to be stepping out on my relationship, I would be, probably wearing big sunglasses and a scarf to hide my face until I realized that there was nobody around that knew me.
Sorry, I'm just sort of like picturing that. You know, you've got a bit of that old sort of like Hollywood look about you. You know, you can pull that off.
I could pull that off.
Absolutely.
But then I also would not be reacting to my significant other also sitting in the bar waiting for a hookup. I'd probably freak out. And B, I would probably be super guilty. This wouldn't just be a cutesy like, oh, hey. It would be like a serious, apparently we need to have a fucking conversation.
This is the most unnatural reaction in any pop culture thing I can think of. I'm sure there's something worse. I just can't think of it right now that makes less sense than this.
You're mutually discovering that you're both cheating on each other or trying to.
And that you're bored.
That's not...
You don't even want to be with... It's just, okay, you suck. I just found out that my partner thinks I suck. Oh, by the way, I think you suck too. And this is a laugh?
And then they just sort of laugh it off and get back together. So I never knew that you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain and the feel of the ocean and the taste of champagne. If you like making love at midnight in the dunes on the Cape, you're the lady I've looked for, come with me and escape.
Escape from what? Escape from what you just wanted to escape from. This is the most screwed up relationship, period.
And all of this is so superficial. So come on. If your partner likes pina coladas, you probably know that. And if you're bored with them and you don't know that what their preferred drink is, or even that they like sugary blended cocktails, I think this is on you, not on them. So I think both of these people are culpable, and they're both terrible people.
And they're going to be divorced in a few years. And they're going to be trying all sorts of interesting things. They're going to probably go to a swingers club. That might be the sequel.
I was just going to say that. The next personal ad they take out is going to be together looking for a third.
How did this guy go from cannibalism to essentially like 2 steps away from cuckolding?
I just about got wine up my nose from that, Brett. Yeah. Oh, okay. Thank you for that, Kirk.
Well, hey, sure.
I needed a nostril cleanse with white wine.
Well, I mean, I always knew. Well, of course, you know, I knew you liked white wine, and well, no, we right. when it rained, we just hid and kept drinking somewhere where it didn't rain.
Yeah.
This guy sucks. Did you see his second hit too? Like, because he wasn't. A lot of people think he's a one-hit wonder. He's not. He had a number 5 song from the same album, I believe, that year. A song called "Him," which is basically, it's like, okay, my partner's cheating on me. I gotta bring up.
Yeah.
I gotta bring up those lyrics here. It's like this guy's going through some shit, or he's a very creative individual, which could be. Doesn't necessarily mean Rupert is going through that. I don't know.
I mean, I think he's actually talented. He apparently won a couple of Tonys for musicals that he wrote. And he's done some TV shows and was produced, I think. So he's not like, it's not that he's not talented. It's just that songs that are popular are terrible.
I hate him, Andrea. I hate this guy.
Did you also know that his son was named Timothy?
I did read that. Hey, do you want to hear a song I wrote about you? Oh, sure, Dad. What is it? You got eaten.
Long before you were conceived, I wrote a song about you being eaten by your buddies.
I mean, I always think that my name is like the story behind mine. Ever tell you how I got named Kirk?
Is it after Captain Kirk?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I think you did tell me.
Okay, well, and for those who are just listening here, it's my brother is named Hans, and that's after my grandfather, and his middle name is Paul, after my other grandfather. I'm 8 years younger than my brother, and when my mom was pregnant, my brother was into Star Trek, still is. Ironically enough, Star Trek the Motion Picture was out at this point when this song came out, and my brother just kept saying, name him Kirk, name him Kirk, name him Kirk. My dad, who's a big drinker like me, said, yeah, what the fuck, fine. That's how I got my name.
Hey, whatever. It makes it easy when people call you Kurt, and you're like, no, Kirk, like Captain.
I get that every fucking day. Even on email, when people are emailing me, like on the website and stuff, and it's like, you just emailed Kirk Buchner. Why are you calling me Kurt, you motherfucker? But anyway. Sorry, that's...
I had someone on a work email like get my name wrong consistently, so I started just making up names every time I responded to them. It was quite fun. Okay, but back to Holmes. Like, he was talented. He wrote for Barbra Streisand. He's, like... There's a lot that he did. It's just kind of unfortunate that I think his music was used in A Star Is Born, the original one.
Oh, okay. I didn't read that. Interesting.
Yeah, so he actually had a pretty prolific career. It's just that I think he also kind of relied on the gimmicky
cheese.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it worked. We're talking about him.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, he was a playwright. He's prolific. Just that the things that he's really known for are shitty. But I gotta say, if you walk into any pub that's got like a significant amount of women over 40 and you play the Pina Colada Song, you're going to get 80% of the bar up and dancing and singing along.
That's true.
And waving their arms in the air.
That's true.
And hugging their girlfriends.
And people younger do know that song. They don't know him. They don't know the story behind it. And a lot of people over 40 don't know the whole story behind it either, because let's be honest with songs. You remember just choruses, and that's about it. I mean, when this series is over, Andrea, we could do like the most misunderstood songs. We
could. And you know what? A lot of that is people not singing anything other than na 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 pina colada.
Mhm.
Ain't in a caught in the rain.
And that's it. That's all they'll remember.
Yeah.
And
that's fine.
I guess so. And I'm sure there's many. We talked about these I'm sure there's at the Sandals here in Barbados. I don't know this for sure because I've never been to it. Why would I? I live here. I don't have to go to the Sandals. But I'm sure there's many people who go there and say to the bartender, I'd like a pina colada. And they're going, I never heard that before. Yeah, fuck.
I'm sure that is very true. And they all think you're clever for doing it.
Absolutely. It's like every time I crack open, because one of the beers here is Deputy. I think I told you this, right? It's like, first thing I did when I ordered that at a bar, it's like, hey, well, I shot the sheriff.
Shot the sheriff.
Yeah. And she's looking at me like, yeah, you jackass. Never heard that one before. Yeah, so that's what I guess we can kind of close the book on the Pina Colada Song. What do we got next week?
Well, I was looking to kind of pendulum swing into the 90s into some like alternative.
Mm-hmm.
Except for some reason, alternative music doesn't show up at number one on the pop charts.
No, it doesn't. The 90s are it's pretty much a lot of new jack swing and just a lot of soft R&B, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of that. And then there's also a great Canadian band that had, I think, their only number one American hit, which in 1 week we will discuss the Bare Naked Ladies 1 week.
Okay. All right.
China, the Chinese chicken.
That works. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
There's a lot of words in that song. And I love the Bare Naked Ladies. So...
Okay. Yeah. That could be fun. I remember them right when they first came out. They were... Well, I'll tell more about it next week. How they were a big deal in Toronto, their hometown. And, yeah, like right before, like, oh my God, yeah. But I'll go more into that next week. So that should be fun. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, a little bit of Canadiana.
There's not much of it on the top of the pop charts, so it's important to let our countrymen shine.
Well, yeah, that, and I don't want to talk about Skater Boy.
Said see you later, boy.
Actually,
don't worry, that's not one I would likely pick.
I'll leave with this thought here. Can you imagine just the musical abortion that came out of her vagina when because she married the guy from Nickelback? Like, Jesus Christ. That I mean, just that kid came out of the womb just going, I'll never get it. Never. Sorry.
I don't know. I think hating Chad Kroeger is just like a Canadian national pastime, though.
It's an American thing, too.
True. But we claim rights because he's Canadian.
Well, that's true. I think we can sort of like hate on Nickelback and just like blame the rest of you. Like, okay, yeah, he's our fault, but you made him popular.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That's on you, USA. That's on you.
And on that note, we should say goodnight.
All right. Take care, everyone. Stay safe.
Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night.